We all struggle with doubt, wondering if we're on the right path, switching between passions, and feeling like we're not making any real progress. I want to share how to get through that. In this video, I'll take you to Sengakuji Temple, where the legendary 47 Ronin are laid to rest, a place that carries the weight of discipline and unwavering commitment. I'm Jimmy, a Japanese Zen garden designer. I explore gardens and shrines in Tokyo, and I share what's on my mind. I'm a big fan of Keanu Reeves and John Wick, and recently I rewatched his movie 47 Ronin, which is based on an actual samurai here in Tokyo. It's crazy that I live in the same city, but today is my first time to visit to see the tombs of the 47 Ronin. The philosophies of Miyamoto Musashi. He had this rule, a one-step rule, and even though he was a samurai warrior, this rule isn't just about fighting, it's something much deeper. It's moving without hesitation. Musashi, as a swordsman, artist, and strategy, became known for his dual sword style and also his record of 62 undefeated duels. He also diversified himself in several different passions. He believed that the way you do one thing is the way that you do everything. If there's one thing Musashi valued above all, it was mastering yourself. He once wrote, "You must understand that there is more than one path to the top of the mountain." That meant training beyond the sword, art, writing, strategy, a complete way of life. Think about the last time you second-guessed yourself. What if the answer was moving first? There's a famous duel that Musashi had against Sasaki Kojiro, or the demon of the western provinces, was also a living legend in his own right, having founded the style of the Ganryo. Kojiro also utilized the Nodachi, a two-handed sword much larger than a samurai's katana. The two engaged in a duel at an agreed upon date and location, and Musashi arrived late, something which he was known to do. He did this often to get on the nerves of his opponents. As Musashi was making his way to the duel, he carved the oar of his boat into a wooden sword, or a boken. Even though he had his own sword on him, he made this wooden boken to be at least an inch longer than the Nodachi. Kojiro, already upset at Musashi's tardiness, was even more perturbed whenever Musashi showed up with a wooden sword. Once the duel began, Musashi used the boken and smashed it upon Kojiro's head. Musashi was a legendary warrior, and going against another legend can also be intimidating and unnerving, especially one who has a Nodachi, something that against a katana you know that you would struggle to win. Using the wooden sword, making it an inch longer, he had a strategy going into it. He knew that if he could just outreach his opponent, he'd have the advantage. Musashi's philosophy of moving without hesitation is derived from his famous works, the Book of Five Rings, particularly the Earth and Water Scrolls, where he emphasizes fluid motion, adaptability, and decisiveness in combat and life. Sengakuji is home to the legendary 47 Ronin, who embody the same relentless discipline Musashi lived by. These men sacrificed everything to uphold honor and justice, but discipline isn't just about loyalty. It's about showing up every day, whether you feel like it or not. The story tells of a group of samurai after their daimyo, the feudal lord, Asano, passed. Asano's retainers, having lost their lord, became ronins, samurais without masters. 47 of them decided to take revenge for Asano. The ronin, those without lords, disguised themselves as merchants or farmers in the city waiting for the right moment. In 1702, on the night of December 14th, the 47 Ronin attacked. Here, the daimyo Asano's tomb was placed. After the 47 Ronin avenged their master, they too were placed here alongside Asano. Visiting, you can see rows of tombs. Musashi spent years refining his swordsmanship, but he also became an expert in calligraphy, painting, and strategy. His philosophy? Mastery is transferable. If you can master one thing, you can master anything. When someone says trust the process, they describe Musashi's philosophy. Halfway through the book, he sums it up perfectly. You must walk down the path of 1,000 miles step by step, keeping at heart the spirit which one gains from repeated practice with whomever one can get practice with, and knowledge attained from whatever experiences you can come by. And those who are able to practice gain the experience. Those experiences are helping you compound and level up in life. Think about it. Whether it's your career, your art, or even just getting better at something you love, the key isn't talent, it's showing up day after day and sharpening your craft. Musashi believed in taking action, not waiting, not debating, just stepping forward. He called it moving without hesitation, and the reason why it worked? It forced clarity. It's easy to be stuck when you're standing still, but when you take a step, you see the next one, and the next. It sounds simple, right? But when I actually started applying it, everything changed. When I first got into Japanese garden design, I had no idea where to start, but I found my way through, and over time, being consistent, doing what I wanted to do, it got me to where I'm at today, somewhere where I never would have imagined. And yeah, I struggled many times. There was a lot of times where I doubted myself. I had thoughts of quitting, and even times whenever I had to take a different path than what I wanted to. But I knew that by being consistent, still going in a direction that I wanted to go, was gonna get me there, and it did. Musashi never fought the same way twice. He was a master of adaptability, saying, "You must be able to change with the situation. If you are rigid, you will break." Whenever you take one step forward, the next step comes naturally. And that's what he's all about. By adapting and continuing forward, I found different paths going to the same direction I want to go. Musashi's mindset wasn't about rushing in blindly. It was about trusting the clarity that comes from movement. And that's something we all can apply, whether it's learning a new skill, starting a project, or just getting out of a rut. In today's world, the ones who succeed aren't ones who cling to the past, but the ones who adapt. Whether in business, creativity, or personal growth, Musashi's mindset is simple. Stay flexible, be ready to shift, and never stop evolving. Maybe that's why so many people feel stuck. They're holding on too tightly to the way things should be instead of flowing with how things actually are. The real battle isn't outside, it's inside your mind. Musashi's greatest lesson wasn't about sword fighting, it was about mastering yourself. He believed that life itself is a battle, and the strongest warrior isn't the one who fights the most, but the one who understands himself the best. So if there's one thing to take away from today, it's this: take a step. If you find yourself hesitating, try to understand it and take a step forward. Master yourself and everything else will follow. In order to get through doubt, you have to also work through motivation. And in this video on this screen, I talk about exactly what you need to know about motivation. I'm a Japanese Zen garden designer. If this video resonated with you, then I'd love to hear what you're going through, what you're aiming for in the comments.